real for real. I don't think I got enough like real for real. I just feel I'm starting to buy real for real.
So, welcome back to my channel. Today is a somewhat long-awaited video for some people about my stalker. This is the part 2, the sequel, the update. Part of the reason that it took so long for me to do this and upload this is because A, I'm waiting for developments from him to see if he's going to stop or continue, and B, I was asked by the police to hold off so that they could catch him. Catch him doing what exactly? I am not sure. But yeah, that's pretty much the reason that this took so long. Not from me actually slacking off for once in my life. After my last video, I was looking for an explanation as to why he was showing up. Still unanswered. He continued to show up, parking where he was parking, still doing weird stuff. We talked to the police a few times about it, obviously. And then there's a detective on the force who works both around here and out towards the cities. He said if there's any issues, call him every single time. So we called him. It got to the point where the chief of the police went to this guy's house and told him to knock it off. Just like,
hey bud, maybe you shouldn't do that. Probably should stop because people are kind of uncomfortable.
You can guess what happens next. He did not stop. So we call the police when we see him. He showed up Tuesday, April 30th, parked there, so I called. The dispatcher was super fucking rude to me. Obviously, word of mouth gets around. She's disrespectful to everyone. And she's like,
can you tell me the make and model of his vehicle? Do you see his license plate?
Like, just such an attitude in her voice. I'm sorry, I thought your job was to help me, not disrespect me while I'm calling about something I'm concerned about. So yeah, she was super rude, not super helpful at all. Said that they would send someone up. As we're waiting and waiting and waiting, no one shows up. No one came and talked to us. We didn't see anybody drive through. I had to leave at a certain point. So I went to the state police station to ask if it was their job to respond to calls. And he's just like, well, in the situation that you're describing, I'd say yes, they should have responded to the call. So then I go to the regular police station and have to give my name and wait literally forever. Mind you, I'm texting a group chat while this is happening to let them know what's going on. While I'm sitting there waiting, I hear them in the back, the police officers talking, being like, oh, like, is this that whole problem, blah, blah, blah. Like, no, it's fine. Like, it's fine. I'll deal with it. I'll take care of it. You don't have to worry about it. I'll just deal with it. Like, so sorry that you have to do your job. Sorry that you have to deal with someone who is concerned about their safety and their well-being. So, of course, I told them, once they came out to deal with me, that the receptionist was super rude and that nobody came up. He goes,
nobody came up, or you didn't see anyone come up?
I was like, nobody came up and talked to any one of us that were up there, and no one saw them drive through, and they were at the front waiting pretty much the entire time. So he's just like,
yeah, well, we'll go check and see who was on duty and see who went up and what happened.
So they go into the back room and they're looking for the file, and then I hear them say that literally they're like, we don't know where the file is. Like, they're talking to each other and they can't find the file, I guess, or the transcription or whatever, call log or whatever in the logs, that they can't find my call. And then they come out and they're just like, yeah, officer so-and-so came out, like, went up and checked. I'm like, that's really funny that you're gonna say his name, A, super fast so I can barely hear you, and B, I think it's really interesting that I just heard you in the back saying that you have no idea where it is. That's interesting. And another thing, when they came out, they asked me, they're like, are you the manager? Because she's the one that normally calls. And I was like, no, I'm just a concerned citizen. So after he comes out, he goes,
well, we're gonna tell this guy to cut the shit because we're sick of dealing with this as much as I'm sure you are.
You're sick of... You're sick of dealing with it, bud. You're sick of doing your job, the job that you get paid so well for. You're sick of having to deal with us calling because we're concerned about him because he is acting weirdly and strange. A lot of times, situations like this, girls end up getting hurt. You're sick of dealing with it. I'm sick of having to call you people and have nothing happen. I'm sick of being concerned that a man is going to harm me while I'm going to my car or when I'm trying to get to or from my job. But what would I know? I'm just a scared, concerned female who's overreacting, right? Because that's how people treat women who have legitimate concerns. You think I want to take the time out of my day to have to call police to do something? No, I am not that kind of person, and I would just stab someone if it was up to me, but that's not how it works, and we're not going to deal with that. So do your job. Just do your job. Deal with it. Do your job. I said that I'd rather call and be bothering them than wait for something to happen, because it's the truth. And then he said that that cop that did go up, he was just like,
Yeah, he drove around for 4 minutes.
I'm sorry, but when I'm telling someone something, a story or whatever, I'm not like, yeah, it was this long, like as an over-exaggeration of something to make it seem more believable. Like, I mean, I just read body language, so maybe he was just really enthusiastic about it, but I have a feeling that that was not the case. And then he said that we should talk to the owner of the plaza and see if they can do anything, put a cease and desist or something, because there's no town ordinances that can prohibit him from loitering or anything. So mind you, this was all Tuesday, April 30th. From that point on, they spoke to him, they were like, you need to stop going and parking there. It's weird, you're making people uncomfortable. So he stopped parking here. So here's the store, here's the parking lot, here's the road that you can drive on to come up into the plaza, and then here's more parking. Now he just, when he drives by, he goes very slowly and stares at us. Or what he'll do is he will park over here on this side of the parking where there's no stores. There's nothing there. But he will park there because it's still across from our store, but far enough away that he's not being problematic. Which is like even worse, I feel like. That he's like still doing it from a distance. Like, why don't you just stop altogether? And as you can see, he is parked over diagonally kind of from us, but still with his window facing like slanted, his car like tilted slanted so that he can still look directly at us. This guy just doesn't want to quit, and I don't know if there'll be an update to this or a part 3, but I'm hoping that it just stops and part 3 isn't like being murdered. But yeah, so it's like dealt with, but not really. It's just, I guess, not as bad. I carry a knife on me, so I'm not as concerned, but like it's still so weird. It's just not something I should have to deal with. Thank you guys so much for watching and kind of tuning in and staying along with me being stalked and having this story time experience with me based on real events caught on camera. Subscribe, like this video, notifications for when I post a new one, if there is a new one, if there will be a new one.